Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Path of Enlightenment Tarot. Excuse me. For those of you returning to the channel, welcome back. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I am Nicole. Scorpio, this is going to be a reading for you. However, I do want to throw out some announcements and news here moving forward. As you've noticed, my appearance on YouTube has been pretty limited here the past week or so. I'm going to have to make some changes. Whether or not I'm going to stick with these, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Not making promises either which way, but Scorpio, you guys have been my biggest supporters to date, and due to some very significant time adjustments that I've had to make, and things are going to be a little up in the air for a little while, feel it coming. I'm going to make the adjustment of doing primarily Scorpio reads. I mean, I already pretty much do, but I do try to get monthlies out for the other signs. So what I will say to that is, if there is another sign in the zodiac that you would prefer to have read for, please drop it in the comments below. Let me know who, what other sign, or your rising, or whatever other sign that you're dealing with in your top 4 there. And if I have that time available to me, I will happily put those out. So it's going to be based upon the want and need, right? So I'm not spinning my wheels on things that may be fruitless in a sense. But to me, none of it is really fruitless at the end of the day. It's just prioritizing some things. And that's what I'm going to have to do for a little while. Personal reads are going to be open and available. They have been, they will be moving forward. That will not change. So if you're interested in personal reads, that information is found in the description box below, as well as the about section of the page. As many of you have heard me say in the past, like, I'm one woman running a ship here with a lot going on, and my plate has just become fuller. Not by choice. So I've got some things to contend with. Please bear with me. I'm as human as the next person. And Scorpio, as you know, there's always some bullshit. So let me get some things personally taken care of, and then we will hopefully get back to what has been my norm and tried to be my norm for some time. I've got a lot of readings booked this weekend and throughout the remainder of this week and into next week. So again, if you are interested, there are a few appointments remaining over the weekend. You just let me know in that, again, description box. There's the email. Reach out to me. I'll get you set for an appointment with me. So thank you all for the ways that you love, support the channel, like, share, subscribe, and comment, the donations that have come into the channel, the time that you spend taking in this energy that Spirit works through me to provide to all of you. So thank you for that. Excuse me. Thank you for those of you who have booked personal readings as well. All right, Scorpio. I'm not going to put a time frame on this. I do feel like in the coming weeks, Scorps, that this is, whatever plays out in this reading is going to be very important for you. As much as it is our birthday season, and happy birthday to all of you. And thank you, by the way, too, for all of the birthday wishes that you all sent out to me. I greatly, greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. But this energy, during our birthday season, right, I think that we tend to see this time of year take a little bit of a change, as always, right? But then yet at the same time, this seems a little complicated this time around. And I don't know why that's coming in that way, but it does feel it. And I personally am feeling that sense as well. We've obviously on Tuesday seen a massive change in structure right off the bat as to where things are heading and where things are going. Good, bad, and different, however you personally view that. No judgment here, right? We all have our voice and our opinion, and I think we have the right to express that in any capacity that resonates within us. But I would just say to you that over the next 4 years, please be open-minded to changes. The idea is to be loving and supportive of each other, and even those that we may not always agree with, or whether you do or don't agree with them, right? It doesn't matter, but it's, the United States is a corporation. It's a business. So there's that. So onward, past that shit. I'm over it. Okay, so Scorpio, let's jump in here. Let's see what's going on. I got a new deck of cards, and as I tell you all, and I even told people before when I had my in-person business that would buy, I'd have tarot cards in there for sale. They go, oh, there's no book. You don't need a book, right? So I don't really do too much studying on the cards in the traditional meetings of them, but it's intuitive. 444 on the clock, Scorpio. Spirit just said, harness the power within. Okay, so whatever that means for you right now, your temperament is going to be imperative over the next couple of weeks. And let's remember that I don't think it's until December But we've got Mars going retrograde in Scorpio. Mars is one of your rulers, right? We got Mars making a move, going retrograde. I forget what sign that's going into. And then we've got Pluto and Aquarius happening too, prior to that. So your two traditional rulers are very significant in the moves that they are making at this time in the astrology. Mercury energy is also going to be very important, Spirit is giving me. So be mindful of the words that you speak. Be mindful of the actions in which you are taking at this time. Do all things in love, Scorps, as always, right? We should all be under that to begin with. So be mindful of that energy, okay? So let's see, Spirit, what does Scorpio need to know at this time? The same card, Leo, and that's strength and perseverance, and there it is, Pluto popping up on the bottom right off the bat. Rebirth, Scorpio. I don't know what it is about this time, but it feels like, as they would say, a bear with a sore ass, like a lot of irritation kind of coming through, and you learning to kind of compose yourself. The strength card to me is, that of perseverance, right? Having divine power within, having, keeping ourselves in check in Scorpio. There's something about this lion to me, it's like his mouth is open, right? But yet it looks somewhat closed in some weird way to me. Sometimes the things that are best said are the ones that are left, the things that are left unsaid. Scorpio, something that I was taught many, many years ago and has proved to be worthy of this advice is, if you're going to say something, write it down, come back to it a few hours later. Do you still feel the same way? How does it sound from a different perspective of getting a different perspective of yourself in that? So I think you're going to want to be mindful of your words and your actions at this time. Juno, partnership. You could be dealing with partnerships. 31 could be a very significant number. More importantly, it breaks down to a 4, and this has to do with your security, your stability, home foundations. Spirit saying reconciliation of those two things. Partnership, these birds are very beautiful. They're put together. I'll show you the card because it is a new deck. A very beautiful card here. But this is how we deal with other people and other things, right? And it doesn't matter if it's romantic, platonic, business. It doesn't, the partnership itself doesn't matter. It's the fact that there's a partnership that's at the threshold here. Excuse me. Exploration. This is there's a part here, Scorpio, where, some things are really changing. My nose is itching. About the journey and the change. And Uranus, I believe there's an opposition with Uranus and another, I can't remember what other planet it is, but there's an opposition that's either coming or we are already in. Spirit is talking about a halfway cycle. I'm not too up to par on the astrology. I have a general idea right now. But there's something here that you need to see. There's something here that you need to understand. That exploration is for us to learn something, and Spirit is saying about ourselves. So maybe this is in relation to a romantic partnership. Maybe this is in relation to family situations. There's a variety, Spirit is saying, of differences in between you and other people at this time. Nurture, and it's kind of like you learning to cultivate. There's a lot of, check this out, there's a lot of blues and yellows. So talking about that Leo energy, that is the solar plexus energy and the chakras. Your 2 11s pop out, seeing the 444 on the clock. But you see the blues and the yellows. So the solar plexus and the throat chakra, Scorpio, again, divine will, that Spirit, thy being done, okay? To me, that is significant of what comes through the divine realms, what protection that we have, what Spirit is offering us, where it's coming from, things aligning to where they need to be in a specific place and time. Something I want to say to you all too, and it's like, I don't know why I'm seeing this as a hanger, so I don't know. I'm talking like a clothes hanger. Spirit, there we go. There will be things that you need to leave to hang out to dry. Scorpio, maybe you have been a bit dry in cutting off of things. Like I also see this as like harvest time, right? Reaping what we've sown in the past. So karmic situations as well. You think about, there's in the Santa Morte deck that I have, there's, I think it's the 9, no, it's not the 9 of Swords or 9 of Wands. There's a card in there, but she's using this, sheath, I guess. I think that's what it's called, to cut down some wheat or something to that effect. And that's kind of the same vibe I'm getting here with this bunch of flowers. Like, if you ever gone out to a field and picked flowers or something to that effect. There's also both cards have a lot of flowers. There's a white flower, a yellow flower, sunflowers, daisies as well. But this is kind of going out and cultivating and then, collecting those flowers or whatnot. This Scorpio to me is reaping what we have sown. So has it been good? Has it been bad? Hasn't even, Spirit saying, been indifferent in some ways. There's a mirroring energy here of things that are going on with Scorpio. What I'm also going to say to you is I feel like that angle that's coming through is in 4 separate parts of your life. And I've talked about that before, like, there may be 3 situations, there may be 2 situations, there could be this situation. Scorpio, one of these situations has to do specifically with you yourself. Okay, and taking a look at the partnership that you're having with yourself right now. Is it in divine alignment with what you envision your future to look like? Okay, so there's that part of it. But I also do feel like some of you could be dealing with romantic partnerships. Other of you could be business partnerships. Others of you, and I say even others of you, like I do feel like there's this quadrant of, these 4 things, and that bottom one being some situation, Spirit saying, in which you are connected to that I don't think you want to be a part of anymore in some way. So you've got a couple of different things here playing out, and divine timing is working. Spirit is saying, though, in your favor, and it may not feel like that at this time, and it's kind of like, shit, like I'm starting a new year. Solar flares, there we go. 17, the number 17 always pops up for you Scorpios for some reason. 8, but I will also call that infinity, right? It flows, it goes, it's a continuous interloop. This could also be cycles that you've been stuck in, and you're talking about the relationships, the sustainability, and the mystery of the 8th house in Scorpio. 8th house, I do believe, is you. I'm not too up to date on my house stuff, so there's that. But we have the skull here. There's also a ring. There's something here about blues. Again, what goes in must come out. And to me, it's like that's on the external level of what you are taking in. Where is it going on a mental and emotional level? But Scorpio, it's like you're calling death here on some things. And I don't think that you have, because of this mystery and sustainability, 2 4s there as well, another 8, because of the depths that are you, right? It's like you could be, Spirit's using the word divining. I'm going to call it divinating, or manifesting some closures. The thing that I've said to, I think, a lot of my clients over time, and even on YouTube, is that it's when we're in the middle of like chaos or catastrophe, or what feels that way, it could be hard to not get caught up in the confusion that's surrounding situations with us. At the same time, it's like things have to play out, right? And we may have these experiences that we really just don't want to have. It's like it takes up time in my day. Spirit saying too, when solar flares are activated, like things get a little wild, right? Like we feel that energy, we feel that intensity of those flares and the geomagnetic changes that are happening and all of these other things that are going on behind the scenes that we can't see per se. And I do think that that's kind of what is happening, Scorpio. And I feel like there's a lot of innovation that is coming in, but how we get there may be the thing right now that has really kind of got you like almost feeling like Spirit's going itchy. Like it's just like, ew, like just nails to a chalkboard. This doesn't feel good to me. And Scorpio, that is a part of that rebirth for you, right? Like you're going through that transition yet again, right? And Scorpio, you're going through a transition every day of your life, whether it's work, projects, family, home. This transition isn't foreign to you, but it's very irritating right now. It's kind of like Spirit, they're comparing it to having a piece of food stuck in your teeth, and it's like it's driving you bonkers, and it goes from that thing to the next thing, and then maybe you've got a piece of something else stuck in the other tooth. It's just like, what do I got to do to clear this out? What, like, get me floss, get me something to just get rid of what is irritating me. And I do feel like there's an irritation here, Scorpio, that is making things extremely uncomfortable. And I won't say that they're not uncomfortable, because I think that they are. I feel that you feel that, right? However, it's, Spirit, it's itchy scratchy. Okay. It's itchy scratchy. Okay, the way Spirit's bringing this in, I'm trying to kind of decipher what I'm getting here. Scorpio, stay out of your head and into your heart. Feel things, more importantly, right now. It's the manifesto, Spirit is saying. You've manifested, and there's a manifesto for your life. And I remember talking about the decisions of Scorpio. This is going to affect you 10 years down the line. Some of that stuff, and I don't know why, they're bringing that in, so I do know why, right? I always say I don't know why, but I get why they bring it in, but I don't understand, or I don't have knowing of the in-depths for you specifically, because there's so many of you, right? Or Pluto and Aquarius, some things we're not supposed to know because we would react differently. But during this phase of uncomfortableness, we have to kind of get uncomfortable to be moved, and we know this. Things are going to have to line up, and it may be an experience that you don't want to have, but it's necessary for growth and change. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. In everything that you do, stop yourself long enough to go, does this resonate with the person that I am and what's deep within my soul and my higher self? It's like if you're going to be in a stuck or irritated position, what can you do to go back to the center of self and go, how do I feel about this? Am I acting in integrity, authentic? Am I acting as my true, natural self? Scorpio, it's like those birds are just screaming, just be loving, no matter how difficult it might be. And it's also, Spirit is saying, it also doesn't mean it's a free pass for things that have been wrong, but you're going to have to come into whatever this is with a hell of a lot of grace. And that may be very difficult for you at this time for whatever reason. 17:08 on the clock. Scorpio, you've got the 17, you've got 2 8s sitting here, 3 4s, a 10, which is an ending, and that 11 is a protection and mirroring. I feel like as you're dealing with these partnerships, the thing that you could be picking up on energetically is not just your own irritation, but the irritation in somebody else's life as well. So it's like you've got your own irritability. This person's got their own irritability. This job's got its own irritability, whatever it is. And then you put those two situations together that are irritable. What do you got? A whole lot of friction, which could explode, right? Like you think about fire. You use sticks to cause that friction to start a fire. It's kind of the same vibe that I'm getting here. It's the friction is creating heat, and the heat is creating tension, and you're feeling a lot of that because somebody is, I don't want to call it coming out a winner and a loser. It's not even about winning and losing. It's something is coming to culmination is the words that Spirit is using. Spirit's saying it's been a long, hard fought road, but that you got this, that you have this. So whatever that means to you, like try to really stay out of the hardened places that could live within different center parts of the body. Like, I don't know how else to explain that. It's very odd. But it's almost like, like if we're looking at the chakras as an example, has the heart hardened? Has the throat become very brash in how we say things? Mentally, are we picking ourselves apart? You're going to want to be very mindful of that energy. If you're going to exert the mind, exert it on getting back in touch with yourself and not overthinking that energy as well. So, and with this mystery of the 8th house, Scorpio, there are things that I think there's something going on behind the scenes that may be a little robotic. It's like a 2-week period, Spirit's giving me, that it feels robotic in nature of I don't even think it's you. I think it's other people. I think like you're just trying to get through the days, trying to get through whatever task or challenges you're being met with on the daily. Somebody else is kind of rolling through this robotic energy, Scorps, and they're going to change their mind about something probably within the next couple of weeks. And, next week we've got the full moon in Taurus. So anytime we have a full moon, you always want to go back 6 months to the new moon, in this case, Taurus. and pay attention to what was going on in your life, because right now it's coming to a culmination. Okay. Illumination and astral plane. Insight. Yeah. Spirit is asking you to, take a look at the things around you, but also take the intuition in your divine higher self as a way to navigate this situation of whatever this might be for you, or this irritation. What else for Scorpio, please, Spirit? Expansive growth, another 8, Scorpio. That card keeps coming out for you. I don't think that you fully have an idea how this plays out. I'm going to be honest with you. What I can say to you, there's 13, the Death card, equilibrium, Scorpio. You guys, of all the cards in this deck, and there's quite a few, you keep getting expansive growth and this equilibrium, bringing yourself back into balance. And this 13, the Eternal Stone, I'm going to leave those out there. Universal Oneness as well is laying underneath the bottom. There's quite a bit of cards, too many in my opinion, but 13 being the Eternal Stone, 9 incarnations, many lives lived, many lessons learned, Scorpio. We are, there you go. I was like, I really need to read this one because I didn't read the Eternal Stone. We are ending these karmic cycles and closing contracts. You've asked for a closure on something, and it's coming. I don't feel like this is massive blow up, but it's like we're hitting that high peak. It's like if we want to talk about election just because it happened this week, and it's a good example. Tuesday, right? Everybody's out voting. Everybody's out doing their thing, praying, voting, whatever. And, I'm sure many, many people were sitting there globally, not just in the United States, watching the numbers come in, right? It's the culmination of what's going to happen. What I will say energetically, or what I picked up in it, was that I wasn't surprised how it happened. It seemed to, like, there was suspense to it. There was mystery of how's this going to play out, because we've seen this world be what it is for so long. So it could go either way, right? And that was the thing. Swing states, which way it could go either way. It's too close to call. Scorpio, same kind of energy. Like I feel, and I've said this to you, that it's like you've got to, oh gee, the thought came in and went back out. Oops. Spirit, bring that back to me. You talk about, trying to go back in my mind here as it came in. We didn't know which way it was going to go. And like I said, it feels like something or somebody is very robotic connected to you. And that may be the thing that's playing out here when it comes to the unknown, is you thinking 1,000 different things of the ways that things could work out, right? Which can cause anxiety and all kind of craziness. But this is about this lesson closing out altogether, this karmic cycle coming to a very significant end here, Scorpio. You do stand out in the crowd, right? So, when we and it's like, I think, if we're going to use the election just as the example, both stood out for their own reasons, right? Who stands out the brightest, right? I mean, again, not getting political, just as the example, could you say that he was more vibrant? Her more vibrant, right? It doesn't matter. Like, it is whatever. But something stood out about that situation. And Scorpio, I do feel like you're kind of standing out from that. And like this back and forth of like, we could go either way, as much as it is playing out on the global scale, right? Big economic news. These same situations are playing out on a smaller dynamic that isn't, front page news. It's front page news in your life, but not to the world. And I feel like that's part of this, is like there's that person or situation that is robotic is going to make a shift in a decision-making process. Spirit saying it does come out in your favor, whatever that looks like, because this has to stop. Something here has to close out, and it's been done for far too long. I did you guys, well, you don't know. I have it uploaded. I did not post it. I tried to get a video out for the election, some predictions, and pretty spot on. But I don't feel it necessary to put it out. I don't know why. I just spiritually like, let it alone. So I'm going to leave it alone. But the one thing that does stand out to me from that reading that Spirit is telling me to emphasize here, I'm going to show my age. Jewel, early 90s, I think it was. She had a song called Down So Long. And I would highly encourage you to go listen to that. If there's been a situation, Scorpio, where you have felt like things have been down and out for so long, like, when does this shit come to an end? This is it. Somebody, Spirit just said, maybe a sore loser. Scorpio, if you feel like you're not gaining traction, don't be the sore loser either. Okay, so just, I would say listen to that song, really. Take from it what you need, and you'll know what's for you, Spirit is saying. The Diamond Sun body, which is a 5, you have a gift that no other can offer. You are unique, and you have a part to play in the creation of our new earth. And then 4, infinite vastness. Stop playing small, Scorpio. I do feel like there's been times where you've kind of dwindled yourself down in relation to these situations or people because of the uncomfortableness. You know, as I look at this card, Spirit goes remote viewing. Scorpio, I've talked about your dreams here recently as well. You could be seeing things play out with other people via remote viewing. You could be going on about your day and just all of a sudden get this download of this image or this knowing that you are having foresight to something that is not even of yours, but somehow it is interconnected to you. This could be part of that cycle. There could be things in the past too, Scorpio, that you could have predicted or laid claim to that they're now showing themselves. It's showering itself with the divine light that is being, it's like an expose is what I'm hearing from Spirit. 3 of Pentacles, 9 of Cups. Like, you will be showered with love and understanding from other means too. It's not just this one particular situation, because again, there's 4 dynamics here in certain things. The 5 of Wands coming out sideways, Scorpio. This remote viewing, this could also leave you kind of like back into your logical mind, but it's also you seeing things differently there with that Hangman. It's, you know, if I flip this upside down, am I seeing this maybe from an empathetic standpoint? Am I seeing this from the other side? You know, again, the election, we'll use this as an example, right? So don't crucify me in the comments. Like, it's just an example, because it's relevant and current, right? So, you know, maybe you voted one way, but now you're being asked to look at it through the lens of these other things versus maybe a hot topic of something like that. So it's kind of like Spirit asking you to just kind of come out of that. It's like you're having this interpersonal conflict about a situation. Is this the worst thing that could happen? Or does this really in the long term play out to my better benefit? The Empress in the Tower. You know, this is a deconstructing. This could be some kind of mother energy as well. This is the end of things that have not come to fruition the way we wanted to. And I said, you know, do all things in love. There's the Ace of Cups on the split. But it's like, you know, you get to decide how much conflict you bring to the table as well. So what are you going to do to, either Spirit saying downplay it, but also just kind of remove any additional contention? The High Priestess there is the unknown. There could be ongoing conflicts and battles, and somebody who is kind of waiting, Scorpio, or you could be waiting for somebody else to misstep here. It's like, you know, it kind of reminds me of a snake. When a snake, like a garter snake or a black snake, they wrap themselves around their prey to hold their prey so that they can devour it. Scorpio, I feel like someone is hoping that you will make a move that puts you in a position that you become the prey. Don't misstep at this time, and I'm not trying to cause additional anxiety to anything, but it's kind of like somebody is just kind of waiting for you to fuck up, wanting you to fuck up. I don't think that you are, because I do think that for the most part, you're coming into things with a clear decision on why you're doing the things that you're doing, or the decisions that you're making. You know, at least the intention of where it started from, like where you're coming in at to begin with in a situation, or 4 situations, whatever these situations might be for you. And you're ready to take a new leap of faith in a different direction. It feels like somebody's trying to block that ability. Like, even if you haven't shared information with a particular person on, you know, your next endeavor, you could feel like everything is kind of blocking you at this time. But Spirit is also saying that this is lining up. Spirit saying to make the move easier. Some of you could be moving. Some of you could be making adjustments. You could be changing jobs. It is a little bit of a rough patch right now. Scorpio, this Page of Wands that we know I am not fond of ever. The Tower comes out to clarify. And what I think is interesting when I talk about you being the Fool, taking that leap of faith, the King of Cups was behind that. Scorpio, Behind the Tower, there's the King of Cups again. Separate deck. There's the Empress on the bottom behind it. The Eight of Wands, the Devil, the Page of Swords. Observing, waiting for you to misstep, Scorpio. Scorps, once again, I feel like you're driving a tower. And in order for this tower to happen, this manifestation of creating an end to a karmic cycle, at the same time, like, you are also experiencing this tower because of the way that things have to play out, right? Like, I've talked in the past about a couple of year period where shit was really difficult for me, but I had to let things, like hindsight, right? There we have hindsight's 2020. I had to let things play out so that the actions of others were shown. You may be in a similar situation where you've got to let things happen, because without, what you already know and see being you need to trust that feeling and that awareness, okay? But what other people don't see on the level and the realm in which you do, big things have to happen in order for them to get smacked in the face with it, to go, oh shit, I didn't realize that was as true as Scorpio said, or I didn't realize that this is what Scorpio was dealing with, or, whatever this is, right? So, you have to let these things play out in order for the full picture to develop, so that anybody else that's involved can see as clearly as you do. That, I feel, is the empty space for you right now, is going like I want to be done with this. I don't want to deal with this. I am irritated by this. And Mars is war and revolution and irritation, right? Like, why else do wars begin? Because there's irritation to a situation. There's a problem with a situation. Scorpio, King of Cups, Ten of Swords. Let's just say it, like, your fucks to give have gotten up and gone in a lot of ways. It's like, wanting that situation to end. Ten of Swords. This is a mental imprisonment that I feel like some of you probably are going through right now, or will go through, if not already going through it, or been through it. Again, Spirit is saying, emphasis to again. But it is coming to an end, and this could feel like backstab and betrayal. You're also could be dealing with a Gemini, Taurus, Libra, Scorpio, Aries, again, here heavy too. But this is all the difficulties. And again, that card of nurturing, there's the King of Cups. What does he do? He nurtures things. Even though he's not the divine feminine in the deck, right? Gender's insignificant, really, in the grand scheme of things. But he is aware of his emotions and knows that there are things that are going to hurt in this life that we don't understand until we see the full picture down the road. So there's something significant to that, Scorpio. And let's clarify Scorpio's stance in this. Clearer picture, Scorps. Direction. Ace of Wands for you. The Queen of Swords. The Knight of Pentacles. Scorpio, you cannot see it yet. You're just trying to kind of move through the motions with situations. But the Six of Swords, Two of Swords, Six of Wands. You are headed towards victory and success. Recognition for your efforts that have been given through a particular situation or multiple situations. I do feel like you've got support, but you are also going to have people who are envious of where you are headed and how, it's like if somebody tried to, like, do you ever see, like, your kids? I don't know, my kid does it all the time. Like, she'll play a prank and she's like, geez, Mom, like, how'd you know? Like, you knew not to step on that, or, sit on that whoopee cushion, or whatever, right? Like, whatever it is. You side-skirted my prank, and, they're disappointed. She's disappointed because it didn't work, right? I don't think that someone's necessarily pranking you, but they're pulling at you, Scorpio. And the suspense to the crescendo even of that, of, ooh, does this work? I don't think it does. It's enough to cause, again, that irritation. But there is a force to be reckoned with, Spirit is saying. That is, if you're dealing with somebody who does not want to cooperate, Scorpio, just make sure the one not cooperating is that it's not you, right? Like, are you doing things for the right reasons? Is it necessary? But for the one who is not cooperating, what they're failing to understand in this new era that we're stepping into is oneness is going to be a thing. You can get on board or you can lack. And I think that's a large part of this for this person is they're too trying to create a tower. But you know, I remember my grandmother saying, like, you play with fire, you get burnt. Kids that play with fire pee the bed. Like, I remember all kind of stuff from back in the day. This person is running themselves into a hole in the ground. 4 of Swords coming out in the reverse. Trying to keep up with the Joneses. You know, maybe it's about outward appearance to them. And they won't let something go. They won't let shit rest. It's like, let's relive the past, Scorpio. No, thank you. And that could be part of this irritation, is you trying to move on and move forward. And feeling like you're constantly being pulled back into something that you don't want to be a part of. The Justice card, the 8 of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles here. The Queen of Cups, the Page of Cups. Scorpio, whatever is happening, some of it could be legal, right? There's some paperwork or something that could be coming in with this Justice card, the 8 of Pentacles as well. You're being gifted the Queen of Pentacles, though. You're being gifted the right to handle matters in a mature fashion. You're being gifted the stability and the security that you need to see things through because you've done the work. You have secured something that I think you don't think you have because of the resistance that you're feeling at this time. And you think about the resistance around the world in general as we speak. Do know that it's temporary. Again, I've said it a lot. It's temporary, Scorpio. This irritation does not last. It goes away. It's like having poison ivy. It's just like a son of a bitch for a while, and then eventually it clears up, right? Steroids. Maybe you need steroids, right? Like, but I think that steroids energy is not physical. It's more of that emotional perseverance of like, okay, if I've got to scratch this itch for right now, then I'm going to do it because I know this isn't going to last. This is going to clear itself up. Scorpio, it's you having divine faith to get through whatever this irritation is at this time. Like, it's irritating. What can you do to soothe? You know, like you think about a poison ivy, you can take an oatmeal bath, you can use chamomile, you can drink teas, you can use an ice pack, you can put some cream on it. What self-care are you doing during this time to keep yourself emotionally and balanced and to have a clear head where you're not overthinking things? It will balance out because somebody else here can't bear the weight of the things that you can. But I feel like you're just tired of bearing the weight at all. It's like giving me 10 of Wands kind of energy. When it comes to this person that Scorpio is dealing with, Spirit, likely outcome for them, Hangman, 8 of Wands, 9 of Wands. I feel like King of Wands, 9 of Wands, Page of Cups. You know, we gain that different perspective by taking a time out, right? Like looking at things through that different lens. When I see this 4 of Swords in the reverse with the Hangman, Knight of Wands can be careless, reckless energy, King of Wands, wanting to take control and assert power, having a vision of what it is that this person is wanting. The Moon. Scorpio, it may feel like somebody else has gained some sort of traction over you. I don't think that's the case. Not as much as it's like being shown to be. They're very dreamy about what they would like to see happen. But you've got this Justice card that says, here are the 2 options. Here are the things that we don't see. And we're going to close this out so that everybody, holy shit, Scorpio, so that everybody can move forward. I was going to go 5 back in the deck, right? But I noticed these blank canvases minus the Death card. You've got the Moon, the 2 of Wands, so you've got 1 major there. Then you have the Justice, the Death, the Star, the Wheel, the Tower. This is a cycle of boundaries that I think you're starting to step into right now. You could be feeling the pressure of this. That's, again, Nine of Swords up in your head. The Tower is happening for divine purpose so that law and order can be restored. Could be dealing Libra, Scorpio, Aquarius, Aries, Scorpio again, Taurus again. I think I mentioned Taurus earlier, Leo, and Aquarius again. Scorpio, this has everything to do with the divine alignments in the astrology. And you need to trust even in the things that you cannot see right now with that moon and the Two of Wands. It's like you may feel like you can't pick clear direction because you don't know what's on the other side. Talk about suspense, gut-wrenching, irritating, but you have to trust it, okay? So, Spirit's saying go to the final outcome, and we're going to leave it there, Scorpio. What is the final outcome for Scorpio? What is the final outcome for Scorpio? Cats could be of significance. Shapeshifters, peacocks, white or blue and gold. I told you that before, not that long ago. That was of significance. Scorpio, you could be dealing with people that are shape-shifting right now. It's like they're trying to show up as the good guy. It's kind of like Chucky, like he is the good guy doll, but then he's a terror at night and a killer, right? Like somebody here is, they know how to play the act. They know how to take over a role depending on where they are. So it's kind of like the way I see this, Scorpio, is behind the scenes. They could, and nobody's around, really be awful to you, and then they show up as like this really well put together person. Like talk about sociopaths, and I'm not a psychologist, right? So there's that. But when you have people that can morph from one very good position into another that is not so good, probably pure evil in some ways, they can't maintain that act. I mean, look at Ted Bundy. Alluring, charming, sweet, kind on the surface, and then get in a room one-on-one with him and you're done. There's always a point where this person is wanting you to slip up, Scorpio. I think you're consistently your blunt and brutal self, even to a fault. But the difference between where you're coming from is the intent. Where they're coming from is a different intent. And that changes the dynamic of how they are exposed. Who gets exposed? Okay? Spirit just said black cats are not a sign of bad times. So if you've had a run-in with a black cat, don't be freaking out right now. They're trying to get your attention. It's your intuition. Talk to your intuition, Scorpio. All right, overall outcome in this situation for Scorpio. What does Scorpio need to know? What is the outcome? Cosmic womb. A new life is created, Scorpio, in this. Despite what you don't see, universal oneness. You watch me shuffle these cards. Heard me shuffle these cards, at least. Universal oneness was on the bottom after I used this deck earlier. This is everything inhabiting each other, and we are all in this together. Consciousness is flowing without separation as we act as one. And again, someone's either going to have to get on board or get going. Cosmic womb. Seek connection with oneself as you are a source of empowerment in life. In here lies your divine insight. You're going to have to rely, Scorpio, on your divine insights to move forward into the sweetness of life. And it's like also dealing with your sacral chakra and your heart chakra. Spirit saying there's a need to harness what it is that we've given you. Be aware of that. 4444 on the clock. 7, Scorpio, this could be a lesson around boundaries as well with other people. Knowing when to go, knowing when to stay, when to say yes, when to say no. Spirit's just reminding you to be mindful of the actions that you take at this time. Okay? Advice. Not enough self-sabotage and fear. Okay, so this is what I'm going to say to you, poker face. Scorpio, the advice here. 1, stay out of your fear, stay out of your ego. Yes, you are going to be frustrated. We know this. Don't let this situation or these people or these 4 situations be the thing that creates self-sabotage for you because you can't get out of your head. Twin flames. I'm not seeing this as a romantic thing. What I'm seeing this is as the twin flames mirror parts. We are mirroring back to each other with that 11 that I saw earlier. The things within us that are needing healing. You may be dealing with somebody that you, Scorpio, let's be real, like truly despise this person. Wish them well, but wish them well way, way, way away from you. And it's like they're constantly tempting you to re-engage in a cycle that has now or is closing out. You're going to have to not, it's like they're not showing their hand. You don't want to show yours. But Spirit is just asking you to have like, not resting bitch face, but just be non-reactionary during this time. Okay. Additional insight for Scorpio and guidance. See, the clarity and the truth, the revelations, the honor, the things that have been done in the past, who's done them in love, it's going to be revisited somehow. And that's going to be the determining factor in this, is who is acting in integrity for the right reasons. At that point, this pattern will stop and come to an end. As I say that, cut down in the death card. It's coming. Oops, too many cards. It is absolutely coming to an end. Scorpio, there's 2 skulls here. Death, 8th house, mystery, and the death. There are no second chances. This is dead. It's done. It's over with. This person can chase you down from here to fucking kingdom come, and it isn't going to matter. It is coming to an end. They will try to nip at your heels, but they won't be able to, per Spirit. All right, Scorps. All right, I'm leaving it there. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Again, other signs that you want me to read for, if I have time, feel free to drop that in the comments section. I apologize for not getting to you. And yeah, here's the other thing. I didn't even say this. My goal right now is to work towards Scorpio, because that's where the majority of you sit within this channel, and then to take care of my channel memberships, because that has really been put on the back burner, and I don't like that. That's not how I roll. So I have to have time to get those things accomplished for those folks as well. So those are my priorities right now, right? And time becomes a little easier for me, then I will address those things. So other things. So with that, Scorpio, I'm sending you all so much love. Thank you for all of the ways that you support me. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Happy birthday to all of you who have yet to have your your Scorpio birthdays. There we go. And I'm wishing you all the very best. I will see you very soon. Take care of yourselves. I love you all.